Hey guys, this is Lonnie. How you guys doing? Coming to you with how you guys doing? Coming to you with a Lonnie's life lesson video. This video I will deem as the golden rule. And the reason why I say the golden rule, as I stated in one of my previous videos, I grew up around the Bible, in the Bible. I mean, just reading the Bible. And every single lesson that seemed to have been taught to me was from the Bible. However, my mother made sure that I understood, like, look here, this is the real world that we living in, and hey, this is the reality of things. And when I lived with my dad, it was kind of the same situation, but not really that situation. It was more about, these are the principles in the Bible, and these are the things that I want you to live up to or strive to. And so I'm going to deem this as the golden rule. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. All right, so the current events that's going on in the world, of course, the Nolan Wells situation is still going on, as well as Alisan Hackett, a young female adult punched in the face by police during a traffic stop. I seen the video. I am not going to post that video on this at all. I believe in protecting my mental health, and if you really want to see it, I will put the young lady's full name in the description, and you can go look for that video of the young lady, or I may decide to go ahead and post the link to that video. I saw maybe the point where she got put in handcuffs, and even then I kind of turned the video off because I'm just so overseeing black people being treated, or people being treated a certain way. So this young lady screamed for her mother, and I mean, it was crazy. And the young lady has filed a lawsuit. So I wonder how that's going to go with this administration, with Trump in office and Patel in the FBI. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. And also in Mississippi, a 29-year-old mother was found hanging from a vacant house in Jackson, Mississippi. And the autopsy at this point is still pending. I remember growing up and I watched Mississippi burn, and the civil rights movement, in reference to how things went, and how laws had to get passed after blacks had to suffer a great deal. I don't know too many black people that's hanging themselves. Me personally, that is not the way I would like to go. I don't know. I would assume my mental health would be more like, I'd rather die in my sleep with possibly memory loss or something. But yeah, I don't know too many black people that's hanging themselves, and I don't know too many black people that's playing Russian roulette with a gun, and that gun that allegedly they killed themselves with is not the gun that was at the scene. However, the gun that was at the scene was found later at somebody's house because they took the gun from the scene. So yeah, it's a lot going on, and sometimes I really think that we're living in, my grandmother would say we're living in our last days. Me personally, I honestly feel like this is a movie or maybe a cartoon. Like, this is not making sense to me. Um, so, as I stated, that this Lonnie's life lesson is about the golden rule. I'm going to go ahead and use at least two Bible quotes. So the first one I'm going to use is from Luke 6:31, which is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which is kind of self-explanatory. And then the other one is from John 8:7. So when they continued to ask him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin, let him cast the first stone at her. And it goes on to say, it goes on a lot. It goes on to break things down in that scripture. So if you like to read the whole scripture, that is John chapter 8. So you can read the whole thing and you can take away from it what you would like to take away from it. The reason why I chose these two scriptures is because of my work relationship when I had with Green Tree. When I worked at Green Tree, anybody who goes to a store here in Georgia, in any other state, and you see somebody that's wearing a green shirt and they work for a store that has tree in its name, you will kind of like, boom, 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 boom. You'll get it, what I'm talking about. So Green Tree, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to be involved in any lawsuit or anything of that nature. So when I worked for Green Tree, there was this young lady named, I call everybody young because I compare people to God, and ain't nobody older than God. So this young lady, she worked for Green Tree. So when I got to my second store with Green Tree, that was my 1, 2, and 3. So that was my third store. Yeah, that was my third store, and then I transferred to a fourth store with Green Tree. So the third store that Green Tree transferred me to, which was totally out of like, it was totally out. Yeah. So anyway, so when I got to Green Tree, there was this young lady by the name of Carrie. It was Carrie, Karen, and I'll say Bianca. So Bianca had a child that was battling cancer and had to go back and forth to the hospital, home, and also to work. Carrie at the time had she lived, I guess, with her sister, but turned out to be her friend, her best friend. And her best friend had kids. And then Karen was someone who worked at Green Tree part-time. She basically closed the store. She came in from like maybe 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock till closing, which was about maybe 10:30. So when I got there, it was like three women in the kitchen. It just ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work because everybody gonna want to do things differently. So when I got there, I started seeing how things were being ran, and then when I got there was a gentleman by the name of Brandon, who they ended up firing about maybe 2 months after I got there because he said something derogatory about women. And so since Green Tree seems to be more of a woman's store and they promote women over a lot of men, because they feel that women, they understand the woman aspect of things, about how they want things to be done, and so on and so forth. Or if you are a gay man who is very flamboyant, it may be the perfect spot for you because they have people who it's about meeting your clientele's demands, or meeting your clientele's where they are. And they don't want people to be kind of like, hey, this is what it is. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but it's not, it's a certain aspect they want. So with that being said, Karen started rubbing everybody the wrong way. Sometimes Karen would be the only person in the store because people would call off. So the store would not be, Karen be in the store and she would lock the store down and nobody could get in the store. However, when I tried to do that, I was told that I'm going to be written up and that is not how we operate. Meanwhile, I'm closing the store by myself, and at the same time, people are like trying to pull me over here. Meanwhile, somebody is trying to walk out the door over there. And it was just like, it's kind of like, hi, I'm the clown over here. Look at me. Ha, ha. Meanwhile, that person that's going, ha, ha, they're working with the other person who's taking a whole bunch of shit out the front door. So for me, I'm just like, no, I'm right here. Whatever you need back there, it's over there, da, da, da. And it seemed like it was rubbing people the wrong way, especially the customers the wrong way. And so management kept getting on me in reference to that. I'm just like, hey, I'm closing this store by myself. There's nobody else. And you want me to run the register, go back and forth, it was just a lot. So when Karen stated that Karen called out for about 3 days because she said her sister passed away. The two women that I worked with, they said that was a lie and so on and so forth. And then prior to this, we all was just like saying like, we're talking about the things that were going on at work. And then Karen kept coming up in the conversation. So as Karen kept coming up in the conversation, it was just like, it gave me the impression that, oh, she got to go. And so Karen had did something for about 5 times to me. And I'm just like, you know what, Karen, I'm kind of over it. Carrie, I'm sorry, not Karen, but Carrie, I'm kind of over it. I don't know what you got going on, but look here, it needs to stop because you talking to me sideways, da 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 da. So when Carrie called out from work because her sister passed, I then in turn was just like, oh shit, maybe the things that she was doing, find out that the person had cancer and she was coming to work, taking care of the person with cancer and so on and so forth, and also the children. And when shit kind of hit the fan, it was just like, wow, all of that is starting to make sense. So they had a whole meeting with HR, the district manager, Amy, and another person from HR came to the store. By then we had another manager, a higher up manager who came to our store, and they were just overseeing every single thing to see, hey, what's going on here in this store. And I spoke to that higher up manager, and I told that higher up manager, like, look here, I know how it is because I live in Atlanta and I don't live around my family. I live around people who I've created a family with or that environment with, but we're not blood family. So I understood where Carrie was coming from, because when you take on the responsibility of helping people and creating that family bond, especially when it's kids involved, I understood that aspect of everything. So for me, I kind of just backed off because Carrie started showing me that she didn't know things that everybody's claimed that she knew. And I would show her different things, and she's like, Lonnie, I didn't know that. And so when the higher up manager came there, the higher up manager was just like, Carrie, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and da da da. And Carrie was just like, nobody showed me how to do any of this stuff. So it was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it ride, because I'm not trying to be. This is not this is not my end all to be all. As the old saying say, what God has for me is for me. So make a long story short, um, Bianca and Karen, they met with the HR person. They laid Carrie completely out. When it came time for me, because I came into work that evening about 3, and based on the conversation that I had with the higher up manager who was just overseeing things at my store, that higher up manager told Amy, who was the district manager, that hey, this is this is how Lonnie feels, but you can talk to him when he gets here. So I also told the higher up manager the same, the DM, the district manager, the same thing, Amy. It's like, look here, Carrie just had a funeral. A good friend of hers who was like a sister to her, they lived together and so on and so forth. She took care of the kids with the lady. She's like their aunt. There's like a whole situation that was going on that I wasn't aware of. So I don't know if Carrie could afford the mental health insurance for the company. I don't want to get in bed with any of those things. So I'm gonna buy out. I'm gonna like just say, yeah, I don't want to be part of anything. And I gave my reasons by that. Right now, I can't fully remember everything that I said, but it was very professional. That I understand what Carrie had going on, and if it was me, I put myself in her shoes, and I understand. And so the district manager said, Lonnie, I greatly appreciate that. And so after that, about 2 weeks later, Carrie, she lost her job based on the meeting that the other 2 women had with HR about Carrie. Then come to find out, these other 2 women, they lied on her. And it was like, wow. And so there were certain things that was pointed out to me about how they lied on her. And then at the same time, the same things that we were complaining about Carrie about was the same things that they were guilty of. The Bianca, she was over the like the freight team. And for Bianca, she wanted people to come in so that we could relieve her to go take a lunch break. Meanwhile, other managers that would come in, we couldn't take a lunch break, but you wanted us to come in to help you take a lunch break. But yet we couldn't take a lunch break, and even though we was working the same amount of hours. Then at the same time, it was just like everybody who accused Carrie or who was upset with Carrie, basically we all fall down and we have to get up. And that was one of the reasons why I decided that I didn't want no parts of it. So after everything was said and done, Bianca got into it with the higher up manager who was sent to our store to overlook things. And that higher up manager kept pointing out things to Bianca that she was doing, but Bianca just could not see it, and she did not want to see it. And then Karen was doing things that she was accusing Carrie of doing, and to ultimately, when shit hit the fan, she decided to leave the company. She just bounced, not even giving a 2 weeks notice. She just bounced and said she out of there. And then 2 months after her mental health, I guess, flared up, then she wants to come back to the company, and after she done cussed everybody out, and it's just like, wow. Let he without sin cast the first stone. And that was one of the reasons why I decided not to pursue things with speaking to HR in reference to Carrie, because it was something that in every single job that I've ever had. I've always experienced people going through things and not knowing the right way because their emotions, and if a customer did this, or if an associate did that, or if a manager did this, they kind of like flew off the deep end. Now, I'm not condoning people speaking to anybody crazy, especially people, their managers. I am not. I am not condoning that. However, being a manager is almost like not raising kids, but it's like you're responsible for trying to create other managers, and you're responsible for creating an environment that people are able to come to you and talk to you about the things that's going on in their lives. And if a person doesn't feel comfortable with talking about things that's going on in their lives, but yet we're telling people that when you clock in, you got to leave that at the front door. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, they don't know how to leave whatever's going on at home at the front door when they clock in. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to just speak to Carrie and give her grace, because I would want somebody to give me the same grace, especially once they understood what I'm going through at home. And even though, you know, a lot of times people like myself, my family lives about 700 miles away from me, or 800 miles away from me. Sometimes it's not always easy for me to get home. It's not quite easy for me to get home because certain aspects of trying to get home is almost like I have to take a plane here, but then I have to drive an hour and a half to get to my dad's side of the family. And it's like, okay, once I get there, then I have to find a place. It's just a lot of things that's in, and it's just a lot of things. And so for me, I understood where Carrie was coming from, and my heart went out to her in reference to that. And she didn't have anybody up here, from my understanding. It was just her and the family that she created. But the ladies that we worked with was just like, man, fuck all that. We all got a job to do. And, you know, but then when I hear these women talk, their family is up here with them. It's like they're not by themselves. And I'm like, I understood where Carrie was coming from, and that's why I bowed out. So anyway, that's the end for this Lonnie's life lesson, because this went way too further than what I wanted it to go. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for taking the time out to listen. And remember, if you don't love you, nobody else will. And if you don't love you, you better wake up, because it's a beautiful feeling. And this is a beautiful day, a beautiful evening, I should say. So I hope everybody has a beautiful day. And remember to love yourself and look for me in the sunshine. Later, guys.